Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode.
This week's free episode.
Yeah.
You can check out the bonus episode over at patreon.com/the Froe Show.
Yeah, heaps of additional content over there, so check it out.
Go watch it.
Yeah.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Froe Show. My name is Frank Mankin and I'm joined, as always, by my beautiful co-host, Joe Murray.
Hello.
Joe, what were you just looking at?
I was looking at this. I'm going to tell you exactly what I searched.
Okay, I would like to know that, actually.
It was, and this came up before I finished writing it. It is can in mouth car sound.
Do you want to try it? Oh, yours is full, isn't it?
Not anymore.
I don't want to try it. I really hate the feeling of metal in my...
You got to crush it. Here we go. This is it. I can't do it. I don't know how I've tried it before. I just can't do it. Why do you hate it so much?
I don't know.
I don't get it. Anyway.
Something about metal on my teeth. It's not that it hurts or anything. It's just something in my brain goes...
But yeah, there's some way that you can you get the resonant frequency in the can, and then it sounds like a.
If you can get that right, you can use that for
supercar.
Foley.
I could, yeah.
Really
I'll
well.
practice in my room. My parents would be like, "What is going on?
What are you doing?
Stop screaming!"
I'm gonna jump quickly.
Okay.
I got these in the mail
didn't jump.
yesterday.
Yes, pens.
Pens, and not just any pens.
Are they?
They are paint pens.
Oh,
These
I
are
thought they were
paint-
whiteboard markers.
No, these are acrylic paint markers. Marks
Oh.
on anything water-based.
Oh.
I kind of expected that to be more broken English, if I'm honest. It's not that funny. It's just good
It's just-
marketing.
okay.
Last week we talked about how we were going to make our sign here be covered in stickers, and we wanted to write our names on it.
Yes.
I had an idea
Yes.
that during this episode of the show, we're just going to draw on the sign until we hit the halfway mark, and then I'm going
Okay.
to pass it to you, and you can draw on the sign
Okay.
until the end of the episode.
Yep.
And then just go around the stickers and stuff that we have on there already.
Yep.
And then that's how we're gonna claim our sides. And so you can just doodle on it and draw and blah blah blah. And then at the end of the episode, we'll show what we've got.
Okay.
Sound good?
I like it. Yeah.
That does mean that you're gonna have to do your segment.
Oh,
the
that's
start.
why you put the arrow up?
Yeah, I didn't really think this through as much as I'd hoped, but I'm gonna start drawing.
Okay.
Yeah, there's heaps of colors, but I think maybe just stick to white for consistency,
Yeah, okay.
unless it runs out.
But
in
aren't we
which
going to
case-
put stickers over that?
Yeah,
Right.
but this is
This is just fun. I like it. Are you going to take it off?
I'm gonna pop it off.
Yeah. Ah. Wait, a plant.
No, it's time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that we do need to invest in a new plant.
I can't get it off.
What? Well, how come all of a sudden we can't get it off?
Have we ever gotten this one off?
Yeah.
Have we?
Yeah, we took it off last week.
No, was that at the bottom? No. I think there's a
Oh, there's a screw.
there's a screwy thing.
You got a screwdriver?
I do. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Phil.
Bye. Do you want to get the rubber duck while you're up?
Yeah.
Because we don't have the rubber ducky on this. You've done an awful thing to this set. It's just you.
Hang on, I'm working on it. All right.
The screwdriver's not big enough for that.
All right. Thank you.
I see. Yeah, see, that's nowhere near the center.
Okay. Well, do you want to mark the center? Where did I put that marker? There. Do you want to mark the center now?
No, I don't trust myself. You do.
Okay. All right. So this is my side. I feel like I need sorry, thank you. I feel like I need something to get it started on. Is there some paper
Is it
over there?
pa-
There should be printer paper somewhere. I'm clearly very organized. Yes. Yeah, there's printer paper? Thank you.
Yeah, you were very organized for this part of the show. Clearly. How's it going? Well, are you sure it is coming out? Because
Yeah, look.
it is white paper.
I'm filling the nib.
Oh, it is coming out. There we go. Is that what you meant to do?
Yeah. Have you never used a paint marker before?
No, I've used a fresh one before. No.
It was like $7 on Amazon.
Actually, speaking of paint,
That was such a strange transition, but go on.
well, it just came to my head. I forgot to put this on the board, but my studio at home is going through some changes at the moment. It's half brick and half like just wood at the moment, and I didn't paint. Oh yeah, that's like dead center.
That's my industrial tech knowledge coming back. All right.
And I haven't. What is it? Yeah, I never got to painting the walls in that studio. I didn't think I really needed to, but then I got some like new colored lights, and I didn't like the desk that I had. It was a corner desk, and it didn't really work for sound stuff. So I got a new desk for my birthday. That goes flush up against the wall, which will be good. And with that, I had to gut everything out of the room pretty much because I had to just take everything off the desk and then pull the desk apart. And I'm going to paint the walls. So
Are you? Do you know what color?
I bought 3. I like it.
Thank you. Sounds strong.
I bought 3 like samples to try. One was nothing like what it looked like on the piece of paper thing that you get.
Yeah.
You know the little...
The like tester thing.
Yeah. You can go to that whole paint wall and it's got heaps of cards.
Yeah.
And you just pick the ones you want and you go like, can I buy the sample?
Yeah. And then they go, no.
Yeah, pretty much. And then they eventually go yes and give it to you.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Thank you.
So yeah, the one I bought was green, and I thought it was blue. Like on the card, it looked like it was blue.
Oh,
and
I hate that.
Then I did like a test swab on the wall, and it was green. So that's not going to be used, but it's probably going to be like a grey.
Your studio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think the grey will go with like the red bricks.
Oh, yeah.
And then it should be pretty like dark vibe in there, which would be cool.
Pretty dark and moody.
Yeah, I like it. So
I don't know how well this is going to dry.
it's a pretty glossy.
Yeah.
It'll dry. It'll just probably take a while.
Yeah, just can't smudge.
So I got 3 samples. One's like kind of dark. The other's a nice lighter grey. I'm probably going to go with the lighter grey because it's a small room anyway. And I think if I go too dark, the room will just seem really, really small.
I'd just like to mention that you're literally talking about paint.
Yeah, I am literally talking about paint. And?
Do you... No, nothing. Just like...
I'm done now.
Just an observation. Do you want to talk about Payoneer?
I do. I got an email at the beginning of the week.
I haven't heard this, by the way. I should mention.
Yes.
I literally have no idea what this is.
Finally, I honestly had forgot that this dispute was going on. And then I got this email. I was like, oh, that's all right.
That's
We
right.
don't like these people. But they said... I'll read out the email. Thank you for contacting us. We apologize for the delay with getting back to you.
Appreciate that.
Wait, how long was the delay? It was... The last email they sent me was on the 12th. I got this one on the 30th.
Of December.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We're happy to inform you that we have lowered the withdrawal minimum threshold for your Payoneer account.
No.
So please be advised that the limit has been lowered for a one-time withdrawal to allow you to use the remainder of your balance. Once you've completed the withdrawal, I just have to give them these details and they can close our account.
Yay!
And that's it.
Yay! We can get our money.
We can get our money today.
Oh, that's so good.
Yes.
That's so exciting.
So they lowered the threshold for a one-time only withdrawal for us to get our money out.
Oh, I'm excited. That's really cool.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Awesome.
That's-
We will do that today then.
We will do that this afternoon. Yes. So finally we have our money. Well, we can get our money.
Yes. It was always our money.
Yes.
But now we can actually get access to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being very artistic over here.
Yeah. Hey,
Did you know that I went to art school?
Actually?
Yeah.
Well, I know performing arts school.
No, I went to art school. I went to actual art school.
Did you?
Yes.
When?
At the start of last year.
Huh.
It's the Queensland College. I can say where it was. Oh, I probably shouldn't because I bagged them out. Yeah.
Oh, wait. In
In town. Yeah, in town.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's an arts college.
wait. Are we talking about this? No, we're not. We're not talking about the same one.
I don't know.
The last one that you went to?
Yeah.
Oh, so
I went to the arts campus. So technically I went to art school.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I thought you meant you actually did an arts degree.
I did, technically.
Well, yeah, but this kind of art.
I had to do drawing classes.
Okay, well, but isn't that for storyboards?
No. Like, I had to do actual painting classes.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, I never did them, but
well, yeah, it doesn't. I can see that.
Shut up.
Although I like that bottom one. That's cool. Are we just using white
You can use whatever you want. Well, maybe just white, actually.
now that you've drawn over the whole thing? Just white.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but, like, it's your personal choice, I guess.
Mm.
I'm going to draw lots of eyes in this one.
My eyes.
'Cause it's creepy, and I like it. These look more like... I don't think I can keep that in.
I think we're gonna have to cut that.
I think I'm going to have to censor that, but that's okay.
That's all right.
It's my artistic juices.
They do look.
Shut up. Their eyes. This is a spider.
It's a spider.
Yes.
Right.
A very large spider.
They should have larger pupils if you want them to
No.
not look like what you think they
No,
look like.
I've committed.
My goodness.
Joe, what were we doing before the show? Do you want to talk about that?
We were. Yes, I do.
Do you want to talk about your...
I didn't want to segue to it too early, but you know what? Why not?
Well, I mean, look. Well, what else? Like,
What is else?
what else are you going to talk about? Exactly.
Before the show, Frank was showing me this new video game he got,
Vijigam.
called.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, I was going to pronounce that last word wrong, so thank you for that.
Were you going to say Sashima?
I was going to start with a T.
And just hope for the best?
Yes, Tsushima or something. So Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Yes. And it is so cool. I'm hooked.
Yeah?
We just finished Act 2 and started Act 3. And it's only 3 acts, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I already feel like I know... I already feel connected to this character. And I want to know what happens.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's just like you get so invested.
Mm.
I really should have looked up not the director of this, but the director that the game's based on. Because
I'll look at it.
Yeah, look up like classic Japanese director. Because he did all of the like really, really big ones. All the really big samurai movies, like the black and white. I think it's Okinawa, but I'm probably wrong.
That sounds like a Akira Kurosawa.
That's it. That's it.
Why does that sound? Why does Kurosawa sound so?
Because it's become a style. Kurosawa, he was such an innovator that he basically created a whole new genre of cinema.
Ah.
So there's a whole genre of like Kurosawa style films.
Ah.
Yeah. It's really, really cool.
Entered the Japanese film industry in 1936.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so he did all of these like really high budget, well, not like high budget in today's standards, but high budget in then standards, samurai movies.
I'm trying to see if there's any that I know.
Probably not, because I don't think we're really the target demographic, to be fair.
Toru. Although this one looks familiar.
Yeah?
Derusu. I should know. Derusu.
You did Japanese.
Uzala.
How good is your Japanese? Genuine question.
Not very good. Not anymore. I'm really just I can pronounce things
And that's about the extent?
fairly well. That's my well, yeah.
Yeah, so you can read
I can
if it's in English.
I can read. Oh yeah, if it's in English, I can read it.
Yeah.
If it's, I can read some Japanese still. I still know some phrases.
Right. But not like heaps and heaps.
No, I know more about like the culture than language, I guess.
Right.
Which I feel like is sometimes more important over there. Because I did a trip to Japan.
Yeah.
For 3 weeks. And yeah, the biggest thing I learnt was the culture difference.
Yeah.
It's so cool though. And it's such a respectful culture.
I really want to go to Japan at some point. I would love
It's
to.
amazing. It's such a beautiful country as well.
Yeah, I
It's
have
so
a friend
clean.
of mine who's Japanese, like born and raised in Japan, and moved to Australia for study.
Oh yeah.
And just like the way that he talks about it is like, I really, really want to go.
Yeah. I could probably live there. Like it's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just love the culture. It's so
And so,
respectful.
sorry, we were talking about Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm.
This is how we got here.
Yes.
What are your like? Because you kind of jumped into it halfway. In terms of like the story, quite literally, like exactly halfway.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts so far on it? From a let's say from a story perspective rather than like a video game perspective, because I think that it's more so like interactive art than it is a video game.
Yeah, what was that other game we were talking about where it felt like it was a movie? What was that other... Do you remember? I think we spoke about it a week or two ago. What game was it?
Yeah, we did talk about this.
What game did you play last?
I played Uncharted 4.
No, not before
Then I
that.
played Horizon.
Before that.
God of War.
Before that.
Spider-Man?
Maybe it was a new one.
Cyberpunk.
No, sorry. We were talking about the movie, Into the Spider-Verse.
That's right.
That felt like a video game, kind of.
Yes.
Yes. But this one was like a video game that felt like a movie, I found. Like an interactive movie.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know. It surprised me a lot that I got hooked
So
halfway
fast.
through the story. Yeah.
Yeah. It's also just like, so you actually while I was playing it, you were like, "Oh, I've got stuff that I can talk about in terms of sound." What was that? Because you like seem very keen.
Yeah. I loved how, because there's different. Yeah, there's a lot. What's that ghost thing where it goes like black and white?
It's called Ghost.
It's called Ghost.
Yeah.
It's like an ability or whatever.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden, okay, sorry. Let me backtrack so my brain can process this a bit easier.
Yeah. Good idea.
Like there's a big difference between diegetic and non-diegetic sounds, and what I mean by that is diegetic is like, you know, if he takes a step here, it sounds like he's stepping on gravel because he took a step. So it's like it happened in shot, so we can hear it. Non-diegetic is like more creative kind of sounds. So it, you know, a sword swipe, this particular one doesn't necessarily sound like it should.
An actual sword.
Yeah, or it doesn't, you know, or there's other things going on that technically you wouldn't be able to hear it if you were actually there.
Yeah. Like putting a sword back in its sheath and that sort of thing.
Oh no, not like that. Like, I can't think of any examples from that one. But like, you know, if we were underwater and you hear a dog barking, sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you probably wouldn't be able to hear that, but it's a creative decision to do that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe for that scene or whatever.
Yeah.
And so the difference in that with like the menu, the main menu and that ghost ability thing and things like that, how all of a sudden the sounds weren't quite like they just weren't the same.
Like they changed in tone or texture or?
No, they were completely different. Like, you know, killing someone didn't suddenly sound like it did before. It was slightly different. It was like, it's almost like God mode activated sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Like
don't
you
know.
just feel more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And I also loved how how the main menu was still super Japanese.
Yeah.
Like different sounds were different Japanese drums, different, you know, menu hit clicks and stuff were
That's
Japanese
crazy
drums.
that you noticed that, because I literally haven't noticed that whatsoever.
Oh, really?
No.
Whenever you select something in the main menu, it's like a Japanese drum hit. The other ones I don't think are. Like when you scroll through the main menu, I don't think it is, but when you click on it, it's like a drum hit.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I really did not notice that at all.
There you go.
I will pay attention to that when I am playing it again later.
Yes, you must.
Oh, Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. Just heaps of like different little creative decisions like that.
That keep
I
it
find
like
so cool.
fresh and funky.
Yeah. Have I told you how they do like Foley in games and stuff as well?
I think we've talked about it very briefly, but feel free to go over it again because it's always interesting, and I feel like we learn something different every time.
Yeah. Well, like, so to make sure it's not repetitive, because they have, all of a sudden you're not working. The way I think of it is when you're doing sound for like a movie,
Yeah.
you're working on a, how I see it, a 2D plane.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always going to be the same.
Yeah, so it's either stereo, so you know you'll pan things left and right, or it's surround. I still see that as 2D. It just kind of like goes in a cylinder,
Yeah.
all around. So you'll pan it just to different points around you. But when you work with a game, it's suddenly 3D.
Yeah,
And
right. That brings in a whole new layer.
Yeah, you can no longer put a sound, you know, on a point, you know, on a 2D box. You have to put it on in a point, you know, at a spot in a 3D world.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you got to try and avoid things like becoming repetitive.
Yeah,
in that
so you
world.
need like several different versions of the same sound effect.
Yeah, exactly. And for something like footsteps, for let's say when he's walking on gravel, they can't just have the one sound for every time he steps on gravel
Yeah,
because
'cause otherwise you would go crazy.
yes. So what they do is they put, they go into this program called Fmod, and they'll import like 7 or 8, or probably more, different footstep sounds for on gravel, and then every time the player takes a step, that'll trigger, and it'll randomly choose one.
Right.
And it'll just trigger one of these 7 different sounds.
That is cool. I like that.
But then they do all the same stuff with like armor movement, and I'd say that all those different types of armor would have slightly different sounds.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah, and so there's all that sort of stuff, and then there's unsheathing of your sword. I'd say that every time it's not the exact same sound.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd go
Yeah.
crazy.
So there's probably 3 or 4 that it randomly picks every time he unsheaths his sword.
That's really cool. I've never thought about it that much.
Yeah. And so then they sort of take that sequence and then put it into Unity or wherever they build the game. And they just put it there. So it's like every time he steps in this strip, these are one of these 7 sounds will trigger. And then there's different ones for walking and running.
Yeah.
And crouch walking or whatever, and yeah.
So they just have like a massive library of heaps of different sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's cool. I finished my side.
You finished it?
Yeah.
That's very full.
Yeah.
Do you want to show your camera?
Nope.
Oh. I don't know what to do now.
Your side looks very empty now.
It does.
Let me give you that.
Maybe I'll keep it that way.
I mean, do what you want, man. I think it's fun to just have a bunch of stuff that like is just going to get covered at some point.
That is true. It's all going to get covered.
Yeah. So
most of it, at least.
Really doesn't matter what you do.
Okay.
That's the fun part. I did. I can't remember what it's called, but there is a name for it.
Wait,
I did a thing that I learnt at in art school. It should be dry on the back.
Yeah, it's already dried.
In art school, which is like just mindless doodling while you're doing other stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so like you split up whatever your canvas is into several big sections, and then each section you just have to fill it in a different way. So you can't repeat the same pattern multiple times. So you just end up doing really, really weird stuff that you never think about.
Like
it's a really good way for you to like just clear your brain, and you can still focus on other stuff. Like I can still focus on conversation while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But like, it's also super creative.
I like it. That's like that thing. What's that course you showed me ages ago? That film
The
course?
Colin and Samir one. Yeah, it's like that. You know what? You should do that.
I've done that.
No, I mean on this.
Here.
Yeah. I mean, if you want, do what you want. It's your canvas.
Well, that's for like video ideas, isn't it?
That's for anything. I think it's just like unleashing creativity.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Anyway, Ghost of Tsushima. So you were talking about the sound and stuff. I think the sound is really good, but I've never like paid that much attention to it.
You got to pay more attention to it, man.
I will. Just for your sake, because you love it so much.
I do.
What I've been paying heaps of attention to is the visuals.
Mm.
And I want to know, and I don't have my phone here, so I can't Google it, but I want to know if they have a cinematographer or a director of photography or someone.
Do you want my phone?
Nah, it's all right. I'll just make stuff up. No, I don't know if any of this is a fact, but I'd want to know if they have one, just so that I can commend to them, because the cinematography is insane.
Oh yeah.
Insane. Just like in the cutscenes is like the way that they've thought about it. It literally looks like you're watching a movie. It looks like you're watching a classic samurai movie, and just like the way that they use framing and the way that they use, you know, the actual shot and lighting and stuff is just like all these classic techniques of cinema.
Yeah.
Like, particularly there was one scene that you were watching with me where he like goes against, I'll try and do it without too many spoilers, but he goes against his code, and he's arguing with someone about his code.
Yeah.
And he is, so the guy that he's arguing with is in good lighting and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Whereas you're backlit with a door behind you.
That is...
And you're very dark.
See, this is funny because I didn't really think of
Yeah.
that. I thought it looked cool, but I didn't think into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a wide shot of the same scene, and they're both standing on opposite sides of a door frame. So
Yeah.
they're physically split within the scene.
Ugh.
So it's just stuff like that, and that's like a recurring thing. Same as later, there's this guy that you fight in the game. It's 2 separate boss battles, and you're pretty close.
Mm.
And the first time, it like you're very in sync, and all the cinematography shows that. So there's like top-down shots of you circling each other before the fight begins, and like lots of close-ups and emotion. Whereas the second time, when you see them again, you're split by a door frame. They're physically split within the scene, and so it's all these little things that make it so clear that you're split.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I like how they've done that.
Yeah, but stuff like that is so cool, and I really love. I struggle with video games that don't have a story, and that don't care. Like, there's so many games that have like a 6-hour story and then a multiplayer, and they just like have clearly tacked on a story because they're like, well, we can't sell this without a single player story. So things like Ghost of Tsushima is like really, really good for people like me. But man, the cinematography and the world is so colorful and bright.
Yes.
And it's such a like, what's the word? Such a juxtaposition between like the bright colors of the world and the like really depressing stuff that's happening. So you get these moments where you're traveling, and even when you're like controlling the game yourself, you have these moments that are just beautiful, like cinematography, and the camera is just like panning, and it's just because the world is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And the animations are so well done that you just kind of forget that you're controlling it.
Yeah, actually, there was one thing that stood out for me a lot with the cutscenes.
Yeah.
And it was like I didn't feel like there was a difference between the cutscenes and the game.
Right. Yeah.
Like in visual quality or animation or anything.
And that's not because, like, obviously it's a beautiful game, but it still looks like a video game. It's not photorealistic by any standards.
No.
But it's consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something I struggled with like, well, with a few games, but even Spider-Man that I'm playing at the moment.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between how the game looks, which it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And like the web swinging and stuff is so much fun, and it feels so nice. But the cutscenes I don't think look as good as the game does.
Yeah.
Which is a bit sad, but...
Yeah. Yeah. I've played a lot of video games over my little, like, time off. This is definitely one of the better ones I've played.
Yeah.
For sure. And I was so hesitant to play it as well, and I'm really glad I have now.
Yeah.
Because it's something that, like, on the surface, I was like, that doesn't look that interesting to me. And then I got talked into it, and then I did it, and I don't regret it. So go play Ghost of Tsushima if you're a massive cinema nerd.
Yes, I want it now.
Yes, you should.
How much was it?
It's like $70.
Ooh.
Oof. Yeah, because it's like it's literally
fresh.
it's the last AAA game that's coming out on the PS4.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why it's expensive. It only came out end of 2020. Sorry.
Right.
End of 2020. Came out in like October. So,
Fair enough then.
still pretty new. But yeah, just so pretty.
Oh, it's such a pretty game.
Sorry?
It's such a pretty game.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about it now, but
I'm still hooked.
go play it.
Really want
We're literally going to play some more after the episode because it's just like we have to wait for the footage to upload anyway. So,
Yeah.
we have like an hour and a half.
Exactly.
Anyway, moving on from Ghost of Tsushima. No more video games. How's your drawing going, Joe?
Good.
Yeah?
I'll show you.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
I'm kind of following what you did. Now I'm gonna kind of start filling in some of the gaps. Do you like my little play on here?
I don't
You don't know what that is?
know what that is.
No, it's a bad drawing.
Is it a?
I'll
is
explain
it a
it
rabbit?
Yeah, that's a hat.
Oh, I do like it. I get it now.
Yeah. I don't know why. That's the second thing I drew as well.
First thing I drew was just like the thing at the top left.
That, yeah.
Yeah, I just went blah blah blah.
I like it.
I wonder if I probably still have my sketches from when I did this the first time
Surely.
in school. Those were fun. It was literally like that was probably the only class I enjoyed in my first degree, because you'd walk in and you'd sit down and she'd be like, all right, I'm gonna put on a playlist. Today is just an art day.
Oh, that's it.
And so she just put on music, and for like an hour and a half, you'd have it was like this massive A3 or A2 sheet of paper, and every person had one. She was like, just fill it in the hour and a half, and like just keep adding to it,
Yeah.
until
it's
the
full.
hour and a half is done. Even if you fill it, just add detail until you're done.
Right.
Yeah, and then like that progressed into her adding like, okay, do it in this shape. Now create it as an animal. Now create it as a character. Now build it into a person. Now actually think about the details. So it's like, it's really just about teaching you like steadiness of your hand and like line techniques and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's good. I still can't draw, but it's fun. I enjoy
I
it.
can see that.
I don't have the drawing
I like this
ability. Which one?
This bottom right.
What was I don't know what the bottom right one was. Oh yeah.
I like it.
There's a little constellation in there.
Yeah.
That's what
What is it? Which constellation?
It's the Arrow constellation.
The arrow one.
I didn't. I was trying to do the Big Dipper, but then I realized that it's upside down. So
Ah.
yeah.
I don't really know any.
The Big Dipper is the frying pan one.
No.
Nope. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's okay. I can't.
That's fine.
That's fine. Doesn't hurt. It's okay. I watched a new documentary this week.
Did you?
Yeah. So you know Matt Davella?
I do.
Yeah. So he released a new documentary on the 1st of January on Netflix. And it's really, really good. What have you done?
I don't know. I can't remember what these look like.
You know what? It's fine.
It's going to be covered by a sticker anyway.
Exactly. I really like. Anyway, we'll talk about that more later.
Yes.
But it's Matt Davella's new documentary, and it's about minimalism. So it's all about like being intentional with the things you own and that sort of thing. Documentary itself is really, really good. Like you should definitely go watch it. Basically, it follows like these two guys who call themselves the minimalists, and they tour the US and talk a lot about their lives as minimalists and that sort of thing. But it kind of talks about their origins and how they got into minimalism, and like one of them is talking about like his mum died and he had to sort through all of her stuff, and then kind of came to the conclusion of like memories, these aren't stored in the things, they're like in me. So he just took like 5 or 6 of the really, really important things that he wanted for sentimental value and then donated or sold the rest.
Right.
So stuff like that. Really, really good film and with a really good message. So I would really recommend that you go watch it. It's on Netflix now. It's called The Minimalists, Less Is Now. But what I really wanted to talk about was the directing of it, because I love Matt Davella.
Yes.
I love him so much. And it sounds like I'm going to bag him out.
It does.
But I'm not. I'm giving him praise.
Okay,
because
good.
The directing is so good. Directing is so good. It's so well. The movie is so well put together, and there is so much going on, and it's basically like it's split into a couple different sections. There's like, and they all like weave into each other. So he's done interviews with specialists, with like not specialists. What's the word? Professionals? No.
Yes.
No. What's the word?
Minimalist?
No. What's the word for someone who's like a big person in their field? There's a word for it.
Yeah, they're not professional.
No.
You're talking about like the person in the field.
Yeah.
Influence?
No. Anyway, you know what we mean.
I know what you mean.
Anyway, he's done interviews with like 5 or 6 of those people. And then he's done interviews with people over Zoom who are minimalists, ranging from 17 years old to like 70 something.
Wow.
So there's like 12 or 13 of those. And then he also has a whole animated section that's kind of... These are all sprinkled throughout the documentary. And then there's like a bunch of animated stuff. And then the main thing is these 2 guys telling their story. And that story is told in a warehouse. They're in this big warehouse, and it's 2 sets. So each person has their own set. One of them is very like moody and lots of neutral tones, browns and blacks and like dark greens, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then the other one is very bright, so whites and light greens and all white light. And it's cool because you can see both sets in both of their shots.
Yep.
But then, like, obviously only talking at once. And then they also have on-location stuff. So, like, he'll start talking about his childhood house that he grew up in when he was a kid. And then they'll go to the childhood house and they'll actually film it there and talk there and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they also do recreations. So there's a whole section where they talk about how they used to have office jobs and they used to work in an office. And so they have an office that they're working in as these people, and it's like voiceover while they're actually doing it.
That's cool.
So it's like there's all these layers that make this documentary just like fit together like puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
And it is so good.
That's cool.
It's so pretty, and just some of the stuff that he's done to get the message across is so cool. Particularly the whole intro. So you know how every documentary has like the first 3 minutes of it, which is like kind of the trailer for the documentary, and then it actually starts. That was so well done.
Yeah.
Because it like jumps between... It doesn't show like the 2 guys at all. It's just like talking all about consumerism in the US and that sort of thing, and how ads will... This is like the first 20 minutes is like all about how ads make you feel inferior and how they make you want to buy things that you don't necessarily need or want. And so the whole intro is like the professionals talking about it, and then it's like the people on Zoom talking about how they felt when they were being advertised to and that sort of thing.
Right.
So it's a really, really cool intro. But the documentary itself is kind of split into 2 parts, whereas the first part is all about consumerism and wanting to buy things and feeling the need to buy things because that's, you know, what we're conditioned to do.
Yeah.
And then it kind of flips into like the human aspect of like, this is how that affected me personally. So they both grew up very poor and that sort of thing. So that's what they get into in the second half. So the first half is like this big setup of like, you know, stuff makes people sad, and people try to fill this void in their life with stuff. And then it gives like the real world example. Like he's like, yeah, I used to work with my dad when I was a kid, and we would paint houses, and then he'd go into the house, and he went into this house, and he was like, Dad, how much would I need to earn a year for me to have this house? And then his dad was like, oh, you'd only have to earn $50,000. And then that was his benchmark. And then he was an adult, and he was like, okay, I've got to earn $50,000. So we got like a sales job. I was like, I'm earning $50,000. I should be happy now. He's like, why am I not happy now? He's like, oh, didn't adjust for inflation. So I got to earn $65,000, $90,000, $120,000. And then he's like, well, I'm still not happy.
Yeah.
That's weird. Why am I not happy? Let's go into debt and buy a bunch of stuff. You know, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's that whole mentality of stuff is going to fill that void, whereas in reality it really won't. But just the way that it was directed and filmed is just so good. And it just feels like a Matt Davella video, but with budget.
That's
which was
cool.
super, super cool. And I love Matt Davella, and I've watched both of his documentaries and every single video that he's ever put out, plus every episode of his podcast. So
I haven't actually listened to his podcast.
His podcast is fantastic. He put the podcast on pause for the past year and a half while he was producing this.
Right.
And I really, 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 really want it to come back.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of his videos,
Yeah.
YouTube and stuff, but no, I haven't seen a lot of
I
his
would
other
recommend
stuff.
his podcast. Genuinely, it's called The Ground Up Show.
Yeah.
And it's so good. He gets all these industry people in and talks to them about their experiences and that sort of thing, and it's just so well done. And the guests that he gets are genuinely interesting, and they're like big enough that they have expertise in the matters, but not big enough that they're just there to promote themselves. Like they actually have genuine insights into the things that they're talking about. One of my favorite episodes is what's his name? Hang on, I'm grabbing my phone so I can look this up.
Okay.
But it's an episode with this guy who wrote the book, The Third Door.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna check it. Hold on. The Third Door. I can't spell. I just read. I literally just wrote The Third Door. Alex Banian. Alex Banian. That's it. So that's a whole episode about him talking about his life story. Alex Ban. So it's episode 94 of The Ground Up Show. Success doesn't equal happiness. That's what it's called. So he wrote this book, The Third Door, the wild quest to uncover how the world's most successful people launch their career. And in that episode, they talk about overcoming fear, the dangers of being overly persistent, and the truth about success and happiness. Really, really, really good episode. That's probably one of the ones that I would say is best to start at for that podcast. Is the Alex Banian one. Also, that's probably my favorite one. Also, episode 91 about productivity is really, really good. That's with Thomas Frank. And what's the other one? I need to re-listen to all these episodes. This is one of those ones where I go back every couple months, and I re-listen to the episodes.
Yeah. That's like me and what's it called? Song Exploder.
Oh yeah.
That's a cool.
Yeah, and you like pick up new things every time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is this guy? There's a guy that I'm thinking of who advertised himself. Like he made his shirt a billboard and people could buy ads. Yeah. Guy who advertised on his shirt.
That's really cool, actually. That's really interesting.
Yeah. What's his name? Jason Sadler? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. That's him. Jason Sadler. So the episode of the Ground Up Show with Jason Sadler is also very good. Let me find which one that is. That is... Okay, I can't find it. That's okay. But that's also a very good episode where they talk about how he kind of grew up as an entrepreneur and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good. Definitely check out the Ground Up Show. But I really respect Matt Davella as a filmmaker and as just an interviewer because he asks genuinely really good questions. Like he does.
Not like the moderator from that thing we went.
Oh man, I don't think we can talk about that, but yeah.
I think we, yeah.
It's probably best not to.
Probably,
but, yeah, no, but much better than that.
Right.
That's looking really cool, actually.
You like it?
I actually really do. That's so sick. I love how different our sides are.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. You'll have to wait till the end to see it.
Yeah. I kind of want to keep filling it. It's like you never. I don't know when it's done.
It's done when you say it's done.
It's like releasing a song.
Yeah, but also you have like 10 more minutes, so
it's just done in 10 minutes.
It's done in 10 minutes regardless. It's looking good though. I'm kind of big vibing.
Vibing?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. But yeah, please go check out Matt Davella. I really want to try and get him on the podcast at some point. That would be really, really cool, but I think he's a very busy man.
He seems very busy. The amount of the thing is his videos that he does are like, I did this for 30 days.
Yeah.
And it's
like, are you just doing heaps of stuff at once?
Yeah,
Or
it's like, but he has to plan these months in advance.
yeah, right.
Each video, yeah.
It's crazy, and just like how well they're shot is stupid.
Yeah.
He's just he's like the
It's like a short film every video.
yeah. He's on the same spectrum as Casey Neistat, but on the other end.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Like
Not really, but it does
But-
to me.
yeah, like you've got this like filmmaker spectrum that makes short films. Casey Neistat is like the run and gun spectrum, like that side, the run and gun, make it up as you go, add a story at the end kind of person.
Yeah.
And then Matt Diavella's on the other end, where it's like meticulously planned and shot,
Yeah.
and it's shot like a production. But they both are phenomenal storytellers. So like,
Yes.
they're both on this kind of weird level. Anyway, that's definitely Ground Up Show is my top podcast of all
Yeah?
time. Yeah,
Right.
that's what really, because I found that before I got really into Matt Davella. I found the Ground Up Show because it just showed up on my Spotify recommended one day, and I was like, well, I'll listen to this on my way to uni because it's like an hour and a half drive. And over the course of that year, I listened to every single episode probably like 3 or 4 times. And every time you get like this new insight into it.
Yeah, because they're so in depth.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's crazy. And he has like 110 episodes,
Whoa.
which like, we got to catch up.
I mean, we're nearly there.
We're getting there.
Oh,
This-
no,
This
we're not.
is
Never mind.
episode 44?
I always think we're at like 60 for some reason.
No, we haven't hit a year yet.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep thinking. Okay, I think I might be done.
Think you might be done? This is episode
pretty
44. That's a bit exciting.
44.
Yeah. Gangster. And then, should we talk a little bit about what our next episode is before we wrap up?
Is that the one that's going to be released next?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
To hype it up a little?
Yeah, a little bit of hype.
I'm pretty keen.
So the next week's episode, we're filming it tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
in our time, but it's going to come out week after this comes out. So it's going to come out on
Yes.
the
7 days at 18th.
18th of January. I got there before you. No, I didn't. It's going to come out on the 18th of January. We have Samuel Reese and his business partner Rachel. I don't know her last name, but they're going to be. Yes.
Sorry, do they have like a company name?
They
Business
do.
name?
They do. It's Creative Angle Studios.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Have they got a studio?
No.
Yes.
It is. Hang on. And Rachel Griffiths. So Sam Reese and Rachel Griffiths are going to be joining us tomorrow on the show. So they are also a production company, and they focus in creative advertising, films, documentaries, and personal branding. Particularly, they focus a lot more on documentaries and stuff. So it's going to be super interesting. They currently have a documentary in the works called "The Fire Under My Skin," which is a documentary about victims of multiple sclerosis.
Wow.
So we're going to talk to them a little bit about that tomorrow, and just to think a little bit about their creative journeys and how they've gotten where they are and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's always interesting hearing from other creatives,
It is.
kind of how they got where they are and what they've done and what they're doing and what their plans are.
Yeah.
But that should be a really casual episode.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun to, talk to them. I haven't seen Sam in over a year and a half.
Right.
So that should be fun.
Yeah.
To catch up again on the podcast.
Yeah. It's funny. It's one of those things where it's like, don't say anything.
Don't talk.
Record. Okay, go.
Do not
Go.
talk to me. Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you until the cameras are rolling and
Yeah.
the sound is recording.
And then it's funny because then we'll sit there for another hour after the show just chatting because we didn't get to before.
Exactly. But no, it's fun. I've known Sam. So Sam I met in my first degree. Before I realized that's not what I wanted to do.
Right.
And he I think he was working on a documentary of this, like something at the school, but I can't quite remember.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's like really into film and documentary stuff. So if I'm the Casey Neistat end of the spectrum, he's the Matt Diavella end of the spectrum.
Okay. Yes. Actually, that's really cool. That's a cool way of putting that.
Because
I
I'm a
wonder-
lot more run and gun than he is.
Yeah. I'm now just getting all these questions I got to ask tomorrow.
Yeah.
I wonder how, like where do you release them things and what's your, like, target demographic for that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so this is all the stuff you got to think about.
Yeah.
I was going to say you can ask questions, but this
there's
is
no
coming
point.
out. There's no point. This has come out after we've conducted the interview. I
Yes.
might put something on socials. So If you saw that and you asked a question, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, my head's like, because
Yeah, time.
this
It's basically time travel.
Thursday, Monday, and then
Yeah.
Friday, 2 Mondays.
Yes.
But tomorrow, I can't say anything now. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
That's going to change what's happening.
We should
tomorrow.
also mention that the set's going to look a little bit different because there's 4 people.
Yes.
So we're going to have to figure out a way for that to work, which probably means you're going to see the edges of the room. So
That's fine. We might just like tidy it up and just make it the room.
yeah, probably. I think that'll be the easiest.
Mm.
But we'll sort something out.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, that'll be super fun. I'm super excited for that.
I'm very
It'll be
keen.
really cool to have a chat to them.
Mm.
And then yeah, that's kind of it for the announcements. Do we want to show our art?
Yes.
Yeah?
You ready?
I'm ready. Can I see yours first, actually?
Yes. You can have a detailed look. You'll notice that some of it was just what we were talking about. Like the one in the bottom corner.
Oh.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
where is it? I didn't write show.
Oh. I read that as G up. Like, yeah, G up.
Yeah, right.
All right.
G up
Do
show.
you want to show?
We'll do it together. I'll hold this
Okay, ready?
up.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Aww.
There's our sign. Here,
There
put it
we
in
go.
the close up so that they can. Oh, put it in your close up because that'll look better.
Mine's way over here.
Yeah. So that's what it looks like.
Oh, glare. There we go.
I really like it,
That's
actually.
it. And there's a smiley face on the back.
Yeah. Oh, no, you know what we can do? Actually, can I have the pen?
Yes.
I need the... Yep, thank you. Give me like 2 seconds. Is this all dry, do you reckon? Oh,
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to art. Do you want to talk about
You're
something
gonna
while I art?
We haven't got anything left to talk about.
No, but you can improv.
I can improv. I could talk about my new headphones.
Go for it.
It's so lame. I don't know. I really like them. I got these new earbuds, Jabra earbuds, from my man down at the store that you bought your gimbal from. Got a good price.
Oh,
for them.
yeah.
I don't really know what to talk about with them. They're really, although they have some really interesting features on them. One's like a new one, which is active noise cancelling, which is where I've mentioned it before how they do that. I'll say it again. They the headphones will pick up any like sort of resonant frequencies that's happening outside. So whether that's like a fan or a car or like that an airplane engine sort of thing, it'll pick that up and then it'll like the microphones will record that and flip the phase and then play that through the headphones. And what it does is when you get those two frequencies, one that's completely 180 degree flipped to the other one, you get nothing. They cancel each other out. So that's what active noise cancelling is. But then it has a hear-through mode as well, which is very cool. And it pretty much just means that the headphones will play, the microphones will turn on and it'll play through whatever's happening outside. So I can be listening to music and still have a conversation with someone, which is very cool. I like your art there, Frank.
Thanks.
Although they're no good for cycling because it just sounds like
Okay.
with the wind.
There you go. I arted.
I haven't seen it. No.
It's our logo.
It is.
And our names. I wrote my name on my side.
Wait, that's our last names. Oh, it's fine.
We say our last names on the show.
That is true. I thought it was your other last name.
No, I use my professional one.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever talked about that. But that's fine. We can talk about
Yeah.
that next week. Have we?
Well, we've mentioned that you have a different name,
Oh, yeah. We have.
but we haven't said what it is.
Yeah, for good reason. Big brand. All
That
right.
is a really cool sign now already.
I like it.
We almost don't need more stickers. I wouldn't be against it staying like that.
No?
I wouldn't be against it. It would still be cool with more stickers.
I kind of like the idea of covering it up.
Okay.
Just because, like, I don't know, there's something about it, man.
Something about knowing that it's there
Yeah.
and that these people know it's there.
Yeah.
It looks cool in the camera, though.
It definitely does. Well, here, how about this?
Mm.
We cover this one. We have another draw.
We do have another draw.
And so this was like our practice.
But I like this one.
And then we do another one.
But I like this one. Look. I drew a rabbit. And a light bulb over his head.
I do like it.
And... man.
I like that.
What?
Patreon.
Oh, we do it at the Patreon?
No,
In the
Patreon names on the...
Oh, yes.
You get your name on the board if
I
you
like
subscribe
that.
to the Patreon.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
let's do that. So, yeah, make sure you subscribe. Patreon.com/The
The Froe Show.
Show.
All right.
Sorry,
Yes.
just real quick funny thing. Every time I hear something.com, I instantly think /The Froe Show. I don't know.
Good.
Every time.
Good.
And it's annoying.
That's how it should be.
You should too. Patreon.com/The Froe Show.
Yes.
And
All
you
right.
get your name on the other draw.
Yes. All right, we're going to finish up there. Thank you so much for listening or watching this episode of The Froe Show.
Mm-hmm.
Check us out on social media. Joe, what's our social media?
It is, Instagram is Froe Media,
Yep.
at Froe Media, and Twitter is at The Froe Media.
Yes. And go subscribe to the Patreon. Next week, we'll be putting names on that board.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.